Today we're reviewing the Royal Kludge C61 Hall Effect gaming keyboard. Now I've been daily driving the Aula Win60HE for the past few months, and I still think it's the best $40 gaming keyboard. So when Royal Kludge reached out to me to send me their brand new Hall Effect gaming keyboard that costs $50, I was a bit skeptical. Is it really worth paying $10 more? From the picture, it looks almost identical. However, the first thing I noticed when I pulled this thing out of the box was the sound. Listen to the difference. You ready? So here is the Royal Kludge. And here's the Aula Win60HE. That's a huge difference. All right, so I'm not gonna go through all the stuff. They all say they have the same thing. They all have 8K polling rates and everything else. What I wanna know is what the actual difference is between these two keyboards. Is this keyboard really worth $10 more? So far, it sounds better. It definitely sounds better. Let's see what other kind of differences we have. Inside the box, you get the usual. A keycap puller, a few extra switches, a USB-C cable, and a manual. Nothing crazy. Of course, I had to tear it down right away. Popping off a keycap, I saw what looked like a metal plate underneath. I pulled the back plate off to check the PCB and foam, and honestly, it seemed about the same as the Aula. Nothing new here. I still couldn't tell if the plate was metal or just painted plastic. Looking at the switches again, not much different from the Aula, but when I plugged it in, that's where the difference jumped out. The RGB lighting is way brighter. On the Aula, you could barely see the glow, but here, it pops right through the keycaps. Next up, the software, and here's where the Royal Kludge completely blew the Aula out of the water. So what we do is, it's rk.sparklinkplayjoy.com. And then we hop in here and we connect our keyboard. So it's already paired. Yours wouldn't say paired, but you'd click here and hit connect. Unlike the Aula, RK software is 100% web-based. No downloads, no sketchy installers, no Windows warning. So first of all, this is where you can change all the lighting, right? They have all the different, color patterns and stuff like that. And then obviously you can change the brightness or the speed at which everything moves. Then you have your normal static colors and then the custom. Eli and I were messing with this. So for example, you can make the keys, red, or say I want to go to blue. And you click on you click on the other keys, whichever key you want. Say I want, let's say I want green. Make this whole bottom row green, right? It's pretty cool. See that at all? So you could change it any way you want. That's typical though, most can do this. Now this is what gets really cool. So let's hop over to performance. This is the global travel, right? So right now it's set like a typical keyboard, okay? So let's turn the test on. So let's see, I want to restore defaults. There we go, factory data reset. Okay. Oh, there we go. So now let's go back to performance here. All right, so as you can see, as I push this on, so 2 millimeters is where a key would normally activate. So as you can see, it's not activating until I go 2 millimeters, and now it's activated, right? And then to deactivate it, I have to fully release it past the 2 millimeters again, see it gray out. And that's how a typical keyboard, mechanical keyboard works, right? So this is how you adjust the travel, right? So right now, I can adjust all keys towards, say they activate at 1.1. Now watch. See, after 1.1, the key activates, and that's with any key I test, right? And if you want to change single key, so typically I would set this probably at 1, but then for like WASD, right? So we'll click WASD. These are the ones you want to lower down quite a bit, right? For gaming. So now when I push these, look at how they deactivate. But you see what the problem is now? Look at how I have to travel all the way back up until it deactivates again. That's what we don't want, right? So that's where rapid trigger comes in. So now, as you mess with rapid trigger, right? And you get a dynamic reset. So now look at this. So as I push down, the second I let go at all, look at it deactivates. You see that? So now it activates instantly, and then the second I let go, it deactivates. You see that? And that's what makes this so good. So with mechanicals, you can shorten the travel, but then the problem is the deactivation of the key is always back at that same point. But with this, the second we let go, as you can see, it turns the key off, right? And so this is what we want. Now, advanced settings. So this is to change dead zones. We'll just put it out where it's supposed to be for now. Keyboard adjusting, real-time travel. When calibrating, press the button completely and hold it. So this is to actually adjust each key. So this is what we had to do to set the calibration originally. I'm assuming this is calibration. Yeah, when calibrating. So this is what I had to do on the other keyboard to even get it to function properly. Okay, so custom keys, you can set any key to be bound to different things. This is what I found really fascinating. So was it under advanced? Yeah, check this out. A single key achieves 4 functions. You could bind 1 to 4 functions depending on the 4 different press levels. And then a single key triggers 3 different keys at 3 different depths. Press and hold key to achieve different functions. This is super cool. Click the button to enable continuous trigger and press and hold the button to trigger normally. Wow. A single key can send another key when released. So bind 2 keys and press the last key. So SOCD, this is what we want. This is what we're talking about. So this is what we would set our A and D to. Is you just drag it onto the thing, right? So you just drag it A and then we drag D. And now we save. So now SOCD is set up for strafing. Perfect. So then that's set, right? So we have SOCD set. And then now we have rapid trigger set, right? So it activates, and then at any point in the release, it deactivates. Perfect. All right, so I think we're all set up here. We have SOCD set up for our keys. This I was just checking out. I'm not entirely sure. So it says to enter upgrade mode. I don't know if this is, they have local updates, online updates. It looks like I have the newest version. I'm not entirely sure. This is what I did to set it back to show you guys how to bind everything. But yeah, click to enter upgrade mode, reconnect the keyboard. I'm not sure what this is entirely, so I'll have to look into this some more. But we got everything else, right? The custom key, I didn't show you guys this. You can bind all of these different keys to different stuff, right? Like, it's just like the last keyboard. The Owlet does the same thing. All right, so we have WASD set. I'm gonna leave everything else set to normal. Actually, what I'll do is for Windows, I'll put it all the way max depth. So now for a Windows key, right? I have to, yeah, look at that. It doesn't activate until you get to all the way to the bottom, and then Windows activates. That's cool, huh? But if I accidentally tap it, look at, Windows isn't opening. I have to go all the way down, and then Windows activates. That's really cool. All right, so that's perfect. We'll leave everything else for now. Space sometimes gets kind of weird. I think I'm just gonna leave it. I'm just gonna leave everything else for right now. We'll adjust things as we need to. But there we go, that's it. So everything's automatically saved. If you have different configurations. So one of the things I ran into is the sensitivity kind of sucks when I'm like editing videos and stuff. So one of the things you might want to do is have one profile that's normal, so you're not accidentally pushing keys and rapid triggering, and then one for gaming, right? So at this point, the Royal Kludge is winning in sound, RGB, and software. The only downside, it's $10 more. To put it to the test, I set my actuation point in SOCD for A and D, and then spent the day gaming across a few shooters. And honestly, I've been really enjoying it. I followed up with Royal Kludge and they confirmed pricing. Black version is already live on Amazon. The white version I'm using launches next week for the same price of 50 bucks. Plus, they gave me a 10% discount code, which I'll drop in the description. So after a day of gaming, here's my honest take. I actually like this better than the Owlet. The typing experience feels better, the RGB looks way cleaner, and the web software is a huge upgrade. For the extra $10, I think it's worth it.